Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And hope you're having a great day and a great start to your day. We appreciate you coming on. And we want to say hello to a few friends as you come up here. Thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it big time. Let's see here. Who's going to be numero uno? I can't see anything yet. And okay, comments will appear here, but I haven't seen anybody. Okay, let's wait and see if we get any scrolling here. Maybe not. Okay. Folks are coming on, say hello. But maybe you are and I don't see it. Okay. Hate to touch anything because when I do, you guys know me. Okay. Anyway, I'm not seeing any names, so let me say hello to you generally, as I usually do. I'll wait for a few folks to come on this morning, a few more, I mean, but you're getting your notifications. I'm not seeing the scroll this morning. I'm not. Okay, let me see if I can see it. I don't think I'll see it on this device either, but I will try. Hold on. Facebook. And I don't think I'll see it. Okay, see, I got. But I will try. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I cannot see it. So even on this one, the comments are there, but as soon as I turn it on, I lose it. Okay. Yep, they don't come up on this one either, and I think it's because it's related to my device here. Anywho, okay, let's not get too sidetracked. It's not me, I don't think. It's Facebook. I have no idea why. Okay, guys, good morning to you. You know who you are. And if you said hello, well, hello back, okay? You guys know that. And we appreciate it big time. Okay, let's continue on with, I think I had, hold on, let me read the number again. At least 9 stories that I wanted to bring to you. The news, headline news behind the scenes here as we go and dig into some of these studies. Here's one on mental health. And it talks about, this is a study done, a small study done on depression. And the only thing they did was change fuels. So they went on strictly what they did. The researchers, had 2 groups. One group ate normally, and the other group was put into ketosis. That's where the body burns ketones as fuel rather than glucose. And the only way to get into ketosis is you got to cut down on the carbs big time, okay? Men under 50 grams of carbs generally. Women, even less, if you want to get into ketosis. I don't care. This is me, guys, okay? Because what was popular, let's go back 10 or 15 years ago in my practice. People wanted to know whether they were into ketosis or not. I said, you know what? If you change fuels, whether you're actually burning ketones or not, okay? Like I didn't get too uptight about that. I said your body will benefit big time, whether you're burning, as long as you're eating the right fuel, your cells at the cellular level, your mitochondria, they will thank you. And I actually proved it to tens of thousands of patients right in my office. By their biomarkers. I proved it to them. And I said, don't worry, and you don't have to buy strips. And some people were so uptight about whether they went into ketosis or not, and it sent them into a tizzy. And I said, don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. For some people, they can hardly have any carbs at all. And I want this to be a lifestyle. I don't care if you're into ketosis or not. I really don't. Okay. So I tried to undo that. I said, look, you're just going to give yourself a migraine. You're going to stress yourself out. You're going to be checking your urine all the time. And, you know, it's like people with blood pressure. They come to see me and they had 2 years worth of their blood pressure numbers. And they used to say to me, Doc, do you want to see my blood pressure numbers? Not particularly. Like, you're giving me high blood pressure. But I'm not reading 2 years of your blood pressure, AM and PM or whatever. Look, if you want to track things, okay. I mean, but I'm just saying, okay? So, but on this study, okay, getting back to the study, they put, and it was a small study, but nonetheless, they put a group into what they call ketosis. They measured it. And they wanted to see what it did with depression. So they changed fuels of these people. Okay? And 87% of the group that they sent into ketosis, no carbs. Were they eating carnivore? They didn't say it. Okay? They didn't say it. 87% in a small study, guys, achieved remission of their depression by changing fuels. It's pretty impressive. It needs to be, the study needs to be expanded and many more participants. But none of this surprises me because I saw it in my office when I got people to eat eggs, meat, and cheese for 30 days, good dairy, lots of protein, healthy fat, the right fat. They got better. It was amazing. I mean, I was aiming at their insulin, but I know once you lower insulin levels and you lower insulin resistance, you really make a difference in people. And, the results were unreal. And I actually started doing the reset with almost everything. Remember, guys, I used to draw up in my office. You know, I mentioned this to someone the other day. I was a hormone guy. Almost everything I did was around hormones, male and female. And I draw that little pyramid. You guys have seen it. And I had the thyroid on the top. I had the pancreas in the middle. I had on the sides, halfway down, I had the adrenals. Okay? And then I had estrogen, progesterone, and in the middle, if it was a male, I draw a little wee circle in the middle for testosterone. I said, look, all of these things are connected. And if you go to a doctor and they can't connect these dots, I'm sorry, but most people are going to get misdiagnosed, mistreated. Because your lab work is normal. Your thyroid numbers are normal. And normal for thyroid, by the way, is low to high is eternity in between. Okay? What's considered normal? Here's women that come in to see me and they were losing their hair. their metabolism, it wasn't slow, it was in a coma. They looked at food sideways and they gained weight. Thinning hair and lethargic, brain fog, didn't feel good. Some of them had adult acne and they had PCOS. And they didn't know why, and oftentimes they were put on a birth control pill, horse's urine. You know, I never liked that. I didn't like the synthetic hormones. And I said, you know, it's amazing what food will do. It's not going to do everything, but it's your foundation. Now, how many of you saw the news yesterday? And we should do a whole program on it. Where in the United States, I don't know if Canada will follow suit. They actually changed the food pyramid. Oh, holy smokes, guys. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. They're actually recommending meat. Fruits and vegetables, but whole foods. Well, that's a great start. I was thrilled by that. You know, and cheese, yeah. Dairy, of course. Good dairy. For me. But I'm just saying, guys, changing fuels. And we talked about it in the reset, why it's so good for you. We went over 14 things, I think, that in the book Sun, Steak, and Steel, and I talk about it in the metabolic reset. Why? What happens when you change fuel? What happens when you give your cells what they're really looking for? We talked about a little article yesterday on the mitochondria. What do you think they're searching for? What do you think those battery packs, what are they looking for? Well, B12, found in the animal kingdom, CoQ10, we talked about this. Choline in the animal kingdom. So can you imagine when they put these folks that were diagnosed with severe depression? Okay, did I tell you that part? Already diagnosed, medically diagnosed with severe depression. It was a small study. Nonetheless, the results were astounding. 87% in the group that they changed fuels. They gave them rocket fuel instead of their crappy carbohydrates that they were used to eating. And by the way, with depression, you know what? When you don't feel good, you know what you reach for? A quick fix. You know, that's why there's so many carboholics. That's why there's so much people that they reach for sugar. And, you know, I remember this happened a lot of times in the office. I said, for 30 days, you're going to cut out sugar. Oh, doc, I don't eat any sugar. I said, okay, tell me about your breakfast. Well, I have orange juice, but it's Tropicana. Well, I don't care. You might as well have a Coca-Cola in the morning if you're going to have orange juice. Yeah, but Dr. Martin, it's got fiber in it. It's got pulp. I don't care. It's going to spike your blood sugar through the roof. And it's going to head right to your liver and pack up your liver. Fructose does that. When you drink it, you weren't meant to drink an orange. You were meant to eat an orange. Yeah. Am I against you eating oranges? No. You want to eat an apple? An apple a day doesn't keep the doctor away, by the way. Okay, they made that up. But an apple a day is good, but a steak a day will keep the doctor away. Okay? That's a Martin Clinic little expression. Okay? We change because we know you and I live in a different world. where 93% of the population have trouble with insulin. 93%. Maybe higher than that. It's incredible. So yesterday's a little announcement that they're starting to talk about eggs again and dairy and meat. Oh, you can eat meat? Wow. Well, for a lot of years, the food pyramid, you know what they had as the base? Grains. Grains. Gotta have grains. Right? And they had fruits and vegetables there too, but they had the grains. You gotta have so many servings of grains. No, you don't. No, you don't. Anywho, okay. Changing fuels, let me read the headline again. Changing fuels really helps treatment of moderate to severe depression. 87% achieved remission of their depression just with food. Wow. That's important, isn't it? Will they follow up with this? I don't know, but I like it. Okay, I like it. Okay. Now, let me give you another one. Cancer could kill, this is another headline here, cancer could kill 18 million people a year by the year 2050 in the United States of America. 30 million people will get cancer and 18 million a year. I don't know how many million die right now. I'd have to look it up again. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. And the cancer industry still doesn't know what you and I know. It still doesn't know it. And I call it the cancer industry. And they're not into prevention, they're into detection. That's a big mistake. I'm not saying you shouldn't detect cancer. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is they make a big mistake because their headline is early detection saves lives. Have you ever heard that before? I know you have. But what about prevention of cancer? You and I fight cancer every day. Renegade cells. Cells that don't listen. Cells that are searching for the wrong fuel. The little battery packs, they get damaged in a cancer cell. And the Warburg effect is that they start with, instead of oxidation, looking for, not oxidation, but oxygen. Instead of looking for oxygen, they're looking for sugar through the process of fermentation. That's called the Warburg effect of cancer. And I've been preaching this for 50 years. Lay off the sugar. Sugar is toxic. Why do you think diabetics are so much more prevalent? Their numbers are, it's not even close, guys. The diabetics get cancer at a much higher rate than the normal population. But guys, when I talked to you about breast cancer and vitamin D. They're not talking about prevention. They're talking about detection. That's why they want mammograms, and that's why they want to do biopsies. And let's get it early, and let's look at the lymphatics. And I mean, look, I don't like that. Because they're not talking about prevention of cancer. They're waiting for you to get it. And then they get into man, oh man, they're myopic. They're all they think of is it's so funneled. And I've always said this to you guys, cancer's a perfect storm, isn't it? It's a perfect storm. And it's, insulin is at the root of it. And estrogen, they're growth hormones. Insulin stokes the fire of cancer. Estrogen pours gasoline on it. Like I don't know how many times I heard this, okay? Ladies. Well, my cells, okay, cancer cells, they're not receptive to estrogen. I said, you bet your boots they are. Estrogen, you're a woman. What do you think estrogen does? It makes you a woman. It makes things grow. I don't want you to not have any estrogen. I'm just telling you what it does. And it does it to men too. That's why prostate cancer, I used to tell my radio audience this all the time. Breast cancer, prostate cancer. What's the difference? There isn't any. Except one happens in women and some men. And prostate cancer happens to men. Because women don't have a prostate. Okay? They don't have one. Because prostate cancer and breast cancer, it's the same type of cancer. It's fueled by insulin, by estrogen. Men get prostate cancer because they don't have enough testosterone, and a man that doesn't have enough testosterone, the prostate grows. Because estrogen takes over. So you have a perfect storm. Cancer, breast cancer, is a perfect storm of estrogen, insulin, cortisol. What? Cortisol. Because cortisol is a stress hormone that's, your body makes it. It's normal to have cortisol, but it's very limited. And when it's outside its boundaries, family dynamics, you got a sick loved one, finances, marriage trouble, stress on the job, acute stress that goes into chronic stress. You know what that does? Pours gasoline on the fire. Inflammation is involved in cancer. When your insulin is high for a long period of time, you know what? You develop inflammation. It's a slow burn. You don't even know you have it. But it's a perfect storm of that. A perfect storm. And then inflammation's twin sister is oxidation, which is free radical damage. And those mitochondria, I was telling you about a renegade cancer cell. They're renegades. They search for different fuel. They love sugar. And they're damaged by free radical damage. Cut an apple in half. Leave it on your counter for a half an hour. Watch what happens to it. That's oxidation, guys. But when they get, free radicals get out of control, that's part of the perfect storm. And then you have, okay, so you have insulin, you have estrogen, you got to knock those things down. You have cortisol, You have inflammation, you have oxidation. And then you have, with cancer, this is something that I found years ago, and I talk to you about it all the time. I wrote a book, Are You Built for Cancer? Years ago, I wrote that book. What was it, 20 years ago now? One of the biggest keys in cancer is low levels of vitamin D. Your immune system doesn't work without the sun. Or, okay, what you should be doing now is taking vitamin D every day. Someone asked yesterday, I think it was Renee on the program. I saw it afterwards. Dr. Martin, do I have to take magnesium with vitamin D? No. I like magnesium, but you don't have to take it with vitamin D. Why? Someone made that up. You go in the sun and get vitamin D. You don't have to take magnesium with you. Okay? Remember, vitamin D, it's a vitamin, but it's a hormone. Look, I like vitamin D with K2. You guys know that. I love it with K2. But when you go out in the sun and you're getting vitamin D, well, there's no K2 with it. Unless you're eating cheese. And you know what? K2 is only found in the animal kingdom. You get a little bit in mushrooms. But, you know, guys, it's in the animal kingdom. So as long as you're eating that, you're getting it. Now, when you're taking vitamin D as a supplement, yeah, I like it with K2, but not magnesium in it. I like magnesium. Guys, you know that. I don't think I have to tell you about magnesium. I love magnesium. I take it. But it's not because, I know it's involved in almost everything, but I'm not too worried about it with vitamin D. I really am not. Back to the low immunity with cancer, okay? This is key. And this is why we emphasize it so often on this program. Find out what your vitamin D levels are. Because it's important for your immune system, your T cells, your Navy SEALs, the Delta Force of your body are your white blood cells. And they don't work. If you don't have enough vitamin D, they don't work properly. Negatively, if you eat sugar, you put them to sleep, your white blood cells, your Navy SEALs, your T cells. They go into a siesta with sugar. But vitamin D stimulates your immune system like nothing else. I love vitamin A and I like all that too, but nothing like vitamin D. And guys, I said this when Linus Pauling won his Nobel Prize on vitamin C. I gave him a high five, but I said, you missed out by one letter in the alphabet. You say C and I say D. Because the real vitamin C is coffee, not ascorbic acid. Where have you heard that before? Now, people think I'm crazy, you know. A lot of people do. How can you say that, Dr. Martin? Well, I got a lot of clinical experience, and I'm going to tell you. Okay? So, why did I do the whole thing on cancer? I can't even remember. What was the study? Oh, yeah. How many people are going to have cancer by the year 2050? Like they're almost giving up, okay? It's so bad. It's going to be so bad. And you know what? I'm not talking to the masses out there. I'm aiming at you. Whatever the world does out there, let them do it. But you take care of yourself. Okay? You take care of yourself. That's what I aim at. Take care of yourself. You know, remember the airplane. In the event that you need oxygen, oxygen masks will fall from the ceiling, right? And you know what they tell you? You put yours on first before you can help anybody else. Okay? I like that. It's a good illustration. You do it. You do it. And when you do it, then to the extent that you can influence other people, and I know many of you are influencers in your own family and whatever, they look at you and they go, some people think you're crazy. That's all right, guys. You know how many people think I'm crazy? A lot. I remember a patient one time came to the office, said, my doctor thinks you're crazy. Your doctor's right. I'm crazy. But I'm right. Okay? Like they were, do you think I lived my life? Do you think I was in practice to please your doctors? If I was, boy, oh boy, did I ever do a bad job. I mean, 99% of them thought I was crazier than a hoot owl. But I understood something. They didn't know anything about nutrition. That was my PhD, was in nutrition. And I knew they didn't know anything. They don't get taught that in school. I said, I'm not out to please your doctor. I don't aim at doctors. I aim at you. And you need to trust me. And I will show it to you. And if your doctor doesn't like it, well, what do you want me to tell you? I don't live for that. My practice was based on you. Taking care of you. And then I want you to take care of you. You do it. I'm going to send you home with a plan. And after that, you just arm yourself. And that's why I love this audience, guys. Why do I love this audience? Because it's not that you just listen, Linda. It's because you do it. And you're investigating. You guys are investigative journalists. I like that. I want that. I used to tell my patients this. Bring a notebook. You're getting to see Dr. Martin, okay? You waited 6 months. Bring a notebook. Ask questions. Don't leave till I answered all your questions. I'm telling you stories, but I remember a lady, okay? She called in the day after she had an appointment with me. She was very disappointed in the appointment, apparently, okay? I said, well, call her back. I'll talk to her. And then I called this lady back and I said, why were you disappointed in your... Well, I didn't get to ask all the questions I had. I said, well, you had your notebook with you. I went over every one of them. And then you said, okay, that's the last one. I said, well, she said, well, I thought of more afterwards. I said, well, okay, ask. You got me on the phone, ask me the questions. Anyway, okay, enough of the ranting. My word, what did I get started on this morning? Got all excited. Okay, guys, you know what tomorrow is? Q&A. And you know what tomorrow is too? I'm going to go live at 8 a.m., okay? You can watch it afterwards on the, wait a minute now, private book club. Okay, so if you've got a book rebuild your temple, okay? If you got a book, tomorrow morning I'm going to go live in there. Hopefully I know how to do it. I don't know. You know me and my two left hands that I have. If I touch something the wrong way. But, okay, the plan is to go on tomorrow and at 8. And then I'm going to be on at 8:30 on this program because we're going to do Q&A, okay? So I don't think it's too late to get your questions in. Send them in to info@martinclinic.com, okay? info@martinclinic.com. Okay, guys, thank you again for, I'm going to thank you for you. Thank you. You. Because you guys, I'm telling you, you pump up my tires. You're so inquisitive. Investigative journalist in health. And an honorary PhD. You guys, you get it. Best audience in the world. Okay? I mean it. Okay. Talk to you soon.